nip in and out, that is okay. So welcome to Thrive in 2022. So this is a 4-day business summit just for yoga teachers to get our head in the right place, reflect on the year that's been, decide what's for the year ahead, and dream, create all of that wonderful feminine energy and the dream and create. And then in the latter half, bringing in that divine masculine with strategy and action plans and how to and figuring everything out. So bringing all of it together, our creative zeal and the action planning as well. And I know some of us are more naturally drawn to the creative, some of us are more naturally drawn to the action planning. So I'm really looking forward to bringing that all together over these 4 days. This is really about a method that I have been developing over about 12 years to help yoga teachers thrive, which is simply called Serve and Thrive. It's about putting that service-led, heart-led, soul-led first, and knowing that takes care of everything else. The thriving with full classes, a sustainable income, and doing what you love. So you are definitely in the right place, and I am so pleased you are here. If you want to thrive as a yoga teacher, if you want to make a real difference to people in your community, and again, that comes first. Serve, that comes first. If you want to make a real difference to people in your community, if you want to establish, grow, or expand your yoga classes, it is the same method, it is the same actions, whether you've just qualified or you've been teaching for a long time, like Tiffany, I know you've been teaching for forever. So wherever you are in that process, if it's establishing, growing, or expanding your yoga classes. If you want to build long-term relationships, I am not about the quick win. My method is not about a quick win. It is about long-term relationships so that you grow with your students. And trust me, this is the most satisfying way to grow. Many of my students have been with me for over a decade. Hazel. Hazel has known me since before I was a yoga teacher, so like 12 years plus, but your students grow with you. I just ran a kirtan session last night, which was predominantly full of my favorite students in my community. We were not doing kirtan together 10 years ago. We've grown together, long-term relationships. And if you want to fill your yoga offerings, I say offerings because it could be a class, a workshop, a course, a retreat, your offerings with heartfelt, soul-conscious marketing. So over these next 5 days, we're going to be building. Each day builds on the next day. And I know some of you would love to jump ahead to day 4, which is strategy, marketing, and promo, but that doesn't sit on a solid base of heart and soul if we don't go through days 1 to 3. So please be patient. I promise to give you the how-to. I have been mentoring teachers for a long time. I promise to give you the steps, but we've got to lay the groundwork first. So day 1 today is split into 2 halves. The first half is on this serve and thrive mindset. Let's understand the mindset, understand where we're coming from, and then to reflect and review. We learn most when we reflect, but it's so natural to just reflect on the last month. And December's a tough old time for yoga teachers. You know, students have other priorities than coming to our classes, and COVID really hasn't helped. But we need to think back. We need to think what was happening in March, in the summer, in September, to really see the big picture when you reflect and review. Tomorrow, same time, same place, is dare to dream and claim your soul's mission. You are here with a mission, not just to fit in as another yoga teacher with a 7 p.m. vinyasa class going through the same sequence as everybody else. You are here with a soul's mission and your uniqueness. You're not here to fit in, but differentiate yourself. So we will dive into that tomorrow. Day 3, bringing that together to create yoga offerings that are so fulfilling for you to teach that it doesn't feel like work, and also totally tailored to dealing with real results for the people that you are serving. Day 4, kind of my favorite, strategy, marketing, and promo. The promo bit is new. I'm going to be guiding you through literally a step-by-step process from when you've decided to launch a class, a course, a retreat, a workshop. What are all of the steps from that point on to fill it? Day 5 is a bonus day. This is a soul courage coaching call for our first prize winner to have a one-to-one live, be like this with me, to really look at what is likely to stand in your way. How are we self-sabotaging and how can we shift those barriers? Been really helpful for everybody to partake in that call because you'll get the same sort of feeling that we're chatting through your barriers, even though we're diving in on one person. But first, some of you I know really, really well. Others I haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, but I'm so delighted you're here. Here's just the tiniest introduction. And why I do this introduction is because the method I'm going to teach you today is not what anybody else teaches, okay? It's not what anybody else teaches. So I feel the need to kind of get some credibility to explain why this method works, even though it's against what everybody else says. I led a training on Friday for Cooler TV, and they were like, this is just so different to what everybody else says. Yes, it's different. And this is why I would like you to trust me. So I have been teaching yoga for 12 years. I teach full-time and I am self-employed. So I am 100% responsible for my income, my mortgage, my bills, my job, everything. Okay, so full-time and self-employed for 12 years. I have no safety net. Okay, I run in-person classes and have been doing that all of that time. But since COVID, I've obviously also started an online membership. The online membership started week 1 of lockdown, March 2020. I know some of you are in it. It's called the Yoga Warriors. And still now in December, we have over 70 members. So we fluctuated between lockdown, we're normally around 100, to out of lockdown, 70 members. So I can talk to you about how you run a membership. And I run online courses, 4-week, 12-week, 6 weeks. I run retreats worldwide, from day retreats to weekend retreats to Hazel, you were with me with nearly 30 other people in Goa, Emma in Spain, in Tarifa. So I run retreats worldwide. Soulfest, so I ran and established my own festival, Yoga and Lifestyle Festival. I run a 200-hour yoga teacher training, 150-hour advanced training starting next year, a business mentorship program for teachers. So I've seen that what I do when I share that method for other people works. We have some of you here today, Tim. Tim, it works. And I founded the Yoga Teacher Collaborative, which most of you are in. It had 200 members, founding members at the beginning in April, and we just hit, I think, 1,600 today. And again, look in that group and you'll be seeing people saying, I've implemented the steps, they work. I implemented the steps, they work. I'm also an author of Teaching Chair Yoga book, which I'm so pleased to say will finally be out in February 2022. So there isn't much in the yoga world I haven't done. And I've done it all full-time and self-employed. I know what works. I know what was a disaster and doesn't work. So to introduce the model that we're going to be following over these 4 days, it's called Serve and Thrive. So it is not about Instagram. So if you're here because you want me to teach you the next newest trend on Instagram, I'm not going to. You might even finish these 4 days by deleting Instagram. Okay. It is not about reels. It is not about the number of followers you have or the number of likes that post gets. It's not about finding the right hashtag. It is not about hacking Facebook's algorithm or Instagram's algorithms. It's definitely not about handstands and advanced yoga poses. I think we all have that moment in our teaching life when we think, oh, maybe if I could just put a picture of a handstand up or some cool advanced yoga pose, then I'd attract more students and fill up my class. Nope. And the bikini doesn't help either. And it's definitely not about beauty or aesthetics. I have definitely had that journey when I thought if I was skinnier and looked more like I see the yoga teachers on the front of Om magazine, maybe I'd be better. I've learned since then, to the degree that I'll let you in on a secret. Someone said to me this week when I fessed up that I was eating a little bit more Christmas indulgence than normal. And they said, yeah, but don't you worry, that'll affect what you do for work. You know, if I was to go into a yoga class and saw a slightly podgy yoga teacher, I would think yoga doesn't work. My inner Carly came out and that conversation didn't go so well. It's not about how you look. It is not about advanced handstands. It is not about charisma. You don't need to be someone else, more beautiful, more skinny, more bendy, more strong, more charismatic to thrive as a yoga teacher. Honestly, you just need to be more you. Because the truth is, I know I'm hiding that last sentence, it is not about you. It is about how you make other people feel, hence the serve. It is about how you make other people feel. Serve and then thrive. Like this picture off to the side, that was taken at Soulfest, the festival I run. Those 4 people have come to my class week in, week out. They've been on retreat, and there they are at a festival that didn't have a fancy dress theme. And 2 of those people were at Kirtan last night. It's about community. So your role as a yoga teacher is first and foremost a community builder. So it's about us getting the head in the right place. It's about being a community builder. Whether that's in person or online, you are building a community. Then what does this look like? Communities take time. There's no rush. They take patience and they take consistency to build. Okay? Communities grow one person at a time. If you put up a poster for your yoga class and it brings in one person, celebrate that. Communities are built one person at a time. When you keep students year in, year out, you have to do significantly less marketing. Cherish one student. 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 3. That is how it grows, not an influx of 20 new people on a January promotion. Grow your communities one person at a time. This sounds a bit harsh, but I've gone there. Stop trying to fill yoga classes. That bums on seats idea. It's not about filling a class. It's about building a community. Stop putting posts on Instagram to get likes. Put posts on Instagram that make other people feel in a community, seen, understood, helped, supported. Okay? Stop thinking about the short term. I hear this time and time again. I've started a new class, only 6 people signed up. Yeah, but what about the next installment of that class? When there are 6 people come back and you attract another 6. Okay? Stop thinking short term. What happens if you're a brand new teacher? It happens to all of us. And one student turns up. Cherish that one student because they will be there 12 years' time. That's from experience. Okay? So stop thinking short term. Think long term. Stop gaining followers and stop fixating on the income or the hourly rate. So it's easy to look at a class and think, okay, so 6 people came today at £10 a head. That's £60. My halls cost me £40. I've driven here. That was £20 for 2 hours of my time. Stop thinking that when you're establishing and instead think about your impact. How was that class received by those 6 people? Are they coming back next week because you saw them, connected with them? And trust me, when you focus on impact, when you focus on serving, when you focus on community building, the income will follow. I make an exceptionally healthy income that I never dreamed possible teaching yoga. Okay? But I have never once focused on the income. I've always focused on the community, doing the right thing, and impact. The thrive, the income follows. So start building a community and focusing on impact, changing lives over income. So how do we build community and connection? You'll hear me say this time and time again. Many of you have heard me say this time and time again. You focus on real conversations. That is not a like on a Facebook post. You focus on having real conversations with real people, creating real relationships and delivering real results. So a silly example of this on thinking about community building and real conversations over likes and follows is if you use Instagram, and I do, I quite like it, and you notice that you get a new follower. Okay? Is that a follower or is that a real person to have a real conversation with? If it's just a follower, you do nothing. Okay? But if you see that as a real person you're building a community with, you notice the follow and you send them a message. Hey, Andrea, thank you so much for your follow. It's really nice to connect with you. Do you practice yoga? Are you local? How did you find my page? Open the conversation because you want real conversations with real people. See the people, the person behind the follower, creating real relationships, delivering real results. To give an example of that that's not Instagram, that is in-person marketing, I always encourage my mentees, as many of them will tell you, to flyer drop. Okay, and I know because I feel it myself and they've told me when they flyer drop, they're really scared what would happen if someone opens the door whilst they're trying to put the flyer through. That's like the worst thing that could happen. We feel like, oh my God, I'm trespassing. They don't want my flyer. But actually that person opened the door. That's a real person you can now have a real conversation with. Oh, sorry, excuse me. I was just going to put a flyer through your door because I've set up a local yoga class. Have you ever thought about yoga? And then they'll say, oh, you know, yoga's not for me. I'm too old or not bendy enough. And then you can start to have a real conversation with them about that. Leslie, Molly, I love that. That's me. Very true. I know. Okay. So I shared this quote the other day, and I know most of you will be incredibly familiar with it. The Iyengar quote, yoga is a light, which once lit will never dim. The better your practice, the brighter your flame. But I want to ask you, who lights it? Who lights the flame? Yoga is a light, which once lit. So who does the lighting? Okay. You do. You do. You as a yoga teacher light the flame for a student. Okay? You light that by introducing yoga to them. And then they go on to practice to feed and grow that flame, that light within them. but something has to light it. Candles aren't self-lighting. They need a lighter. Once they've been lit, they can sustain themselves with oxygen, but someone had to light it. You light the candle, okay? And then they build it, feed it, practice it, okay? So when you're thinking about marketing your classes, when you're thinking about doing a flyer drop and you're feeling nervous about it, imagine all of the unlit tea lights in your community, in the world, that just haven't been fortunate enough for someone to connect with them and encourage them to try yoga. Once they try yoga, yoga will do the rest. Yoga is powerful and life-changing, but someone needs to inspire them to try it. Someone needs to give them the opportunity to try it. And that's you. I tried yoga because someone's mum came to my school and said, I want to do yoga with these unlit tea lights. It's about getting our head in the right place. Okay, so now that's an introduction to the Serve and Thrive model. Let's actually go into day one. Now, most of this is you doing it in your workbook. If you haven't got the workbook, send me a messenger on Facebook or check your email or your junk. It has been sent to you, but junk folders are challenging. So most of this is for you to look through. But this is to see, to reflect, learn, and grow, to see your strengths through your successes. Okay. To identify where you need to make a change, because often it is us getting in our own way. Has anybody here ever printed flyers and then just left them on the sideboard and never put them out there? Often it is us. And acknowledge the difference you make in the world. So this is exactly a mirror of your workbook, but just a guided reflection, looking back over 2021. And looking back with an open mind, an open heart, and looking back at the whole year. What was your biggest challenge this year? Okay, what was the biggest challenge this year? And take some time to reflect on this, and you've got it in your workbooks. But equally, what was your biggest triumph? Okay, we always have that yin and yang, that light and dark. What was the biggest challenge and what was your biggest triumph? I know for me, my biggest challenge was one of my in-person classes in Chandler's Ford. It has always been my most popular class, 25, 30 people in it. When I brought it back now, most of those people are either in my membership, they're on Zoom, they're shielding, they've got distracted. So I've gone from a class that was full for 10 years to 4, 6, maybe 10 people. Rama said, professional or personal? Do both, my love. Think professional and personal if you're happy to, because teaching yoga is definitely professional, but it's so personal. It's so personal. It is both. So that's been my biggest challenge this year. Like one of my classes that was so well established, it's the only one that's not kind of come back after the pandemic. And it's that feeling, and some of you, Tiffany, I know you've got this feeling as well of, oh, I've got to start again. I've got to go and find new people for that class. But I get the opportunity to go and find some new unlit tea lights. Now that's exciting. Okay, what was the biggest triumph? Okay, mine's definitely been growing this group and mentoring. I think about 60 people have gone through the mentorship program this year. So I think that's the triumph. But what was your biggest challenge, your biggest triumph? What unexpected wins did you have? Okay. What was unexpectedly easier? Like Tim, you had a storming win collaborating with Naomi on these outside yoga classes and sound baths at a windmill. From the second you put it on, the universe went, yep, we're going to sell that out. So what came unexpectedly easy that you could maybe do more of or expand next year? Okay. What ideas, plans got sidetracked or didn't occur? Okay. And that can be really useful. So at the beginning of this year, I was really keen on setting up a 300-hour yoga teacher training, and it just got sidetracked. Kind of didn't occur, didn't happen. And then when we re-looked at that, I could see the why, because 300 hours doesn't sit with me. We diluted that, I dived into that and found it needed to be 150 hours of jam-packed amazing content. But the idea had got sidetracked, not because it was bad, but because it wasn't quite right. So look again at what ideas, plans got sidetracked, didn't occur. Why? What needs tweaking, changing? Or is it just wasn't meant to be? And also income. What made you the most income this year? Try and be quite analytical with that, because sometimes the things we love the most aren't always the things that make us the most income. Sometimes the things we find, oh, I've got to go do that corporate class again. Then we look at it and actually the corporate class was our most profitable in the year. So it's not saying you necessarily have to do something about that, but look at the data. Okay, look at the data. So we're making decisions with both heart and an analytical brain. So what made the most income? It might surprise you. It's going to take you some time to think through that. What did you learn in 2021? What did you learn about yourself? You have to do this year in, year out, because we don't finish the year the same we went into it. You know, as I told you, I just had the most amazing launch of a new monthly kirtan with my community. But I remember when I was looking for a teacher training course 12 years ago, I found one local and it said on there that they did a lot of chanting. I was like, oh, that's not for me. And I drove all the way up to London for a course. And now all I want to do is sit and chant. No, we have to keep doing this. What did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about your students? I learned about my students from my membership, the Yoga Warriors. We do Philosophy Friday on there, and it's just half an hour. And every week they kept putting in the comments, Philosophy Friday is my favorite. Philosophy Friday is my favorite. And this started to give me more confidence to go into the depths of philosophy. We're now in something like a 3-month exploration of the Bhagavad Gita in a morning 30-minute yoga practice. And because I learned that about my students, I'm launching a whole new course next year, Philosophy and Movement. But had I not thought, what have I learned about my students, I wouldn't have had that inspiration to create for them. How did you find new students? What worked best for you this year? Okay. And if you're new to teaching, don't worry. Okay. What did you learn about yourself? Okay. What did you learn from communicating with your friends? How did you find new classes to go to? What types of social media posts and emails got the best response? Okay. If something's getting a bad response, don't bother doing it again. What gets the good response, double down on that. What did you learn about in technology? I learned I can virtual background over a PowerPoint presentation. What did you learn about technology? And what did you learn about business and marketing? Because this is a damn hard lesson right there. People will go and do a 200-hour yoga teacher training and learn everything about yoga. They'll go and then add CPDs on top of that. They'll go and then add a 300-hour on that, a specialist course. Will pay, invest time and money on learning about yoga, which is amazing. Do that. But did you learn, invest, you are now, any time on learning business and marketing? Okay. This is why so many yoga teachers struggle. You get taught how to teach. Okay. That's why you do well teaching. You got taught how to do it. You didn't get taught business and marketing, which is why you find it hard. That's okay, we can go learn it. So what did you learn in business and marketing? And what else do you want to learn? Okay. Again, you can spend lots of time reflecting on this with a glass of Christmas mulled wine later. The ripple effect. Acknowledge your light and your impact. I'd like you to at least do this for one person right here, right now. Name 3 people whose lives you have positively touched through yoga this year. And if you're not teaching yet, you do it by accident. You share with your friends and your family and your loved ones. But have a think now. Just one person for now, whose life you positively touched through yoga. And how did that make a difference to them? How did that make a difference? Oh, Leslie's put Tanya in the, yeah, feel free. Let's get some names going. Who did you positively touch? Love that, Sam. Keely, Carol, Michelle, through your course. Yeah. And when we're finding it hard, when we don't want to go out and fly a drop, when we don't want to go on Instagram and do a live video, remember the people whose lives you made better by giving them the opportunity to experience yoga. And by not marketing our classes, by not sharing, by not inviting people, we're robbing them of the opportunity to feel this too. We're leaving them an unlit tea light. Okay. Sarah, I taught her pranayama that helped her with a chronic fatigue. Zoe said she slept a lot better than ever before since coming to my classes weekly. Returning someone their sleep is powerful. Okay. Friend Tracy, who joined my yoga class, very unexpected, but the lovely feedback that I get. Yeah. And listen to that, feel it. We dismiss it. And we dismiss it because we know that what made the difference was yoga. So we like to kind of, oh, it wasn't me. It was the yoga. It was the breathing exercise. It wasn't me. Yes, yoga is so powerful. That person didn't have access to it until you gave them the opportunity. Lily said, I recorded meditations for Lily when she went to her chemo treatment. This is important. Introduce my teenage son to yoga and meditation. Thank you. 2021 versus 2022. You do this every year. Every year this needs to be done. What are you carrying forwards? So what are you keeping? What worked well this year? What filled you up? Was it time for self-study? Was it time for an extra course? Was it a particular one-to-one that you loved? Was it how fulfilling you found a corporate class? Was it the connection of a specialist course? What are you keeping? But equally, what are you done with? And done with can be hard, especially if it's a class that's not working out for you, isn't a good use of your time, or you've moved forward. It's easy to think about maybe the 1 or 2 students in there, or a Zoom class. If you're still hanging on a Zoom class that's now only got a couple of people, it's easy to keep it going for those couple of people. But how is that preventing you from showing up in a different way, having a bigger impact? And when you let something go, those people can always find another teacher, especially if you make a referral. So you're spreading that love over to another teacher. What do you need more of and what do you need less of? Okay. And notice if your mind goes to something like, I need more time, which feels flippant, but it isn't. Dive into that. Okay, you need more time. How can we find time? Systems. Are people still booking with you, emailing you to confirm they want to come to a workshop? And then then you're having to send back backs. And then you're noticing if they paid into your bank account and then they didn't. That's how I used to run my classes. Then you have to chase them up. Get a system that'll get you more time. Get help in the house, get help with admin, get a virtual assistant, send the kids flyer dropping. Lucy, who did my mentorship earlier in this year, she got her son, Jonah, I think he's 16 or 18, to flyer drop for her. And he flyer dropped her chair yoga class taster session. And then she said to him, everybody who comes to the taster session with a flyer, if they then sign up for the course, I'll give you a £5 bonus. That stopped her son putting the flyers in the bushes. And it filled her class and they signed up, it worked. Okay, so if you need more time, that's okay, we can get that. Systems, strategy, automating things, CAN templates, processes and procedures. Okay. What do you need less of? Okay. And anything else that's coming when you're thinking about what's happening in 2021 or you want to bring forward in 2022. And this is the thing about being a yoga teacher. You're running your show. You can do what you like with it. Okay? You have no boss. Okay, so that is going to give you a lot of time to go do that work properly, and everything's going to build. I know you want to talk about strategy and marketing, I get it, but we have to do the homework. So because people don't like doing homework, we give you prizes to do it. So the after party is over in the Yoga Teacher Collaborative. I'm going to put up a post there that is a homework feed. Comment in the homework feed when you have done today's homework, which is to complete the workbook, to do that reflection. Now, don't just say, yes, miss, I've done my homework. Give me a photo, even if you blur it out or it's just the front cover, so I know it's not the equivalent of the dog ate it type thing. If you're on Instagram or social media and you fancy sharing it there and tagging me, that's always useful because it gets more teachers over into our group and more teachers thriving, more teachers serving their communities. But the prizes, these are the best prizes I've done in anything like this. The first prize is obviously on our bonus 5th day, which is the 23rd of December, is a one-to-one live coaching call with me. Okay. The second prize is 1 month membership of my Yoga Warriors. Come join Philosophy Friday and geek out in Bhagavad Gita. The third prize, I'm looking for mine, is this amazing entrepreneur planner from Perfect Planner Company. I love it. It's amazing. It's a really good planner. And then the second one is a desk pad on a weekly habit tracker. Habits are important in your business for consistency. And the fourth is the most beautiful root and flower room spray. So that is 5 prizes up for grabs for you to just do your homework, to help you, to help you. Okay. So I'll see you tomorrow. It's also going to be 3 p.m, same Zoom link. I like to say same place, but I'm not sure because I'm meant to be going to Sweden on Friday, and my husband and I are considering jumping ship and going at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. So I might be live at you from Sweden. We'll see. If not, I'll be in my office. But tomorrow is day 2 dream. I will be in the Facebook group. I am there to answer every single question you have over these 5 days. If you ask a question in the Facebook group, in the comment feed, I will answer it. Okay, I promise. So thank you for your attention today. And I will see you tomorrow, unless anyone has any questions right now. But if you have to dash, do, because that was 40 minutes. I promised you half an hour. But if you have any questions, I'm going to stop the screen share.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, I just want to ask you, the questions that you had discussed today, do we have to fill that on the same form?
No, so you can do the homework in any method you like. You can do it on a scrap of paper, you can do it, and you don't have to do it today. All of the homework needs to be completed by like 7 p.m. on the 22nd on Tuesday.
Right. Okay, that's from the form, isn't it? That the questions are from the form, yeah?
From the workbook.
Workbook, for the day 1. Yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay then. Thank you.
No, thanks, Susan. Nice to have you, darling. Fiona, thank you, my darling. Any other questions?
Laura, can I just ask about, because I've not been teaching, but I think a lot of the questions in the workbook, particularly about reflecting, are so like we should just be doing those anyway, personally. So shall I do it very much from that kind of personal like journey to this point, and then what, because I've been doing a lot of like self-study and things like that. So
yeah, I absolutely would, because that will really feed into tomorrow. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions, my loves? All right, Anita, thank you. So thank you for your time. I am going to dash back to my course. I left them with a Qigong teacher.
Oh,
So I'm going to go pick up from the Qigong man and continue. Becky, did you have a question, honey bun?
No, I was trying to do the clap hands. Thank you, though, Laura.
My pleasure. So enjoy your evenings, and I will see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.